Welcome to another episode of Midweek Drum Hang. I'm Scotty Zwang. Today's host is going to be Brook Jordan from the band Twiddle. Twiddle's a jam band from the Vermont area, and been touring with them for a good amount of time now, at least the last 5-6 years. So Brook's actually here right now, so I'm going to have him join. Buddy, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good. Yourself?
I'm okay. Look at that behind me.
I know. I'm really jealous.
Oh shit. How you doing? Where are you? Where's your place?
I'm in Philly right now. I've been here for about the last 3 years.
I'm in
Yeah. Where are you at? You're.
South Burlington, right by the airport, actually.
Oh, really?
Yep, I'm in my backyard. Right now.
So you're in South Burlington?
Yeah, South Burlington. Actually, it's about 2 minutes from higher ground.
Nice. Oh yeah. So I know the general area you're in. I thought you were in Middlebury. So sure.
Here's my my pup is over here. Let's see if we can get him to say something. What are you gonna do? No, okay. He's not gonna say anything, I guess. But yeah, I'm here in Burlington, in Vermont, and you can do stuff like this and have places like this. But yeah, I'm in my backyard, and I figured that'd be better than being inside because it's way better.
Yeah. It's definitely nice. I'm jealous. I'm in an apartment building, so going outside is a little different here.
I did it one time.
Especially in my building.
I did an apartment one time, and I don't think I could ever go back. I make too much noise, and I stay up too late. That's the problem. So how do you deal with drums in an apartment?
I didn't I've only been in this apartment now for a little over a year. I used to live in a house, but I didn't have a drum set in here. It was just, I was on the road so often that it wasn't that big of a deal. And then when all of this happened, I had to figure out, it took me like 3 months until I had a drum set here. So I didn't play for a long time. It was rough. But now I have, yeah, a lot of drum pads. But now I have a little situation with some mesh heads on it and low volume cymbals. So it does the trick here, and I get to the studio about like once a week.
Yeah, hopefully I don't get rained on. I think it's actually gonna maybe storm. You can see the clouds. But
they're getting darker.
Out of my subterranean drum kit of a basement that so I'm renting a place in the basement. It's just I have to stay on the dehumidifier or else the past tenants, we've been here, my girlfriend and I and Walter, our dog, have been here for over a year now, and a year and 3-4 months. But the basement, if I don't stay on it, oh my god! I guess they had cats down there, and maybe
the smell
or two. Oh wow! I have to stay on it, and but yeah, I've got my master's custom down in the basement. But I also have a nice little spot upstairs where actually I do a lot more writing than drumming. I just got a new Yamaha keyboard, and I have a little PA and a little setup area. And I
nice.
do more than just drumming. I write.
Yeah, for sure. I remember seeing a video of you a little ways back of just playing some acoustic guitar and the guys in the band promoting.
Yeah, we've done it live a couple of times. I think that's really a cool aspect of of the live show. And actually, my dad, who has he grew up in Long Island and is
Long Island, Long
yeah,
Island represent.
Farmingdale, Long Island, yeah, Farmingdale, Long Island. But uh, he went and saw a lot of great bands and saw Zeppelin a bunch of times, and he said one of the coolest times was seeing them all come out in front, like Fish has done too, where they all played acoustic instruments, and we've done that. I think I saw them maybe once in Colorado, but yeah, it's I'm so blessed that playing in Twiddle, they let me write songs on guitar and bring them to the band. And obviously, I don't play guitar on them live. And a lot of the times, the stuff that I write, maybe the main lick, or the main the hook, or the riff, I'll write it, and I know that. Oh, there go the that are so loud overhead. Anyway, I'm so grateful that they take my songs, and and Mickey usually plays the. I just have to talk him through the riff, and I know something that I've written. I necessarily can't necessarily play it the way he can. I speak it to him, play the drums behind it, and speak it to him. Like, I think of my song Second Wind. So if I was going 4/4, the guitar riff is and then it comes back again. And I can't play it that fast on guitar, but I wrote that slowly.
Did you write it on guitar, just
Oh,
slower?
yeah, yep. And I just, I'll come up with an idea like that and the melody, and then most of the time I want to do it faster, obviously, than what I've written it. So it's,
So what did
yeah.
you learn first? Were you a drummer first, and then you picked up and started kind of noodling around guitar, or did you play guitar and like you fell into a position where they needed a drummer, or
When I was 10, it was 10, I got my first drum kit from my dad, and I had been in I guess middle school, like band before that and whatnot, but marching band and that stuff, I've actually never been able to read music. Not really. Drum music's probably a little bit easier with the X's and the place.
gotcha, yeah.
It's I was never into that. And then at 10, I wanted a drum kit, and my dad got me one, and he wanted to play drums when he was young. And instead, his parents got him a saxophone. And I don't think he was ever really too happy about that. So once I wanted to get a drum kit at 10, I mean, it just started from there. And then guitar just started, I think, pretty much when I was like 16 or so, I guess. And 15, 14, whenever you start high school, I guess. And it was never like a thing I didn't like. I didn't want to like be on the beach, like, but playing folk songs to girls around a fire or something. was more like I have these ideas in my head and I need to get them out, but I can't do it on drums. But I think about you honestly with what started my drumming really getting into it was 311. That was
11,
the
311.
it was the Blue album, the self-titled
That's what did it for me. I mean,
album. It was that, and it was surprisingly at that time my parents. Surprisingly, again too, it was my Long Island cousins. I was
Long
in with.
Island has a very strong presence on Long Island.
They made me mixtapes, and when they would come to Vermont, because we lived near Pico and Killington, the mountains, skiing mountains, they brought South Park, which I wasn't allowed to watch. They brought music that I wasn't allowed to listen to, including 311, Sublime, and other bands and whatnot. But some of my cousins ended up, it was 311, Chad Sexton. I mean, I remember I got a half piccolo snare because of that pop and the boom.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really comes down to, and for years I didn't know this. I used to just crank my snare, but what it actually is that he's hitting like an inch or two of the stick. All of his shots are done like rim shots with barely any stick on it, so it's like all high overtones going
Yeah,
on the drum. And in that time period too, like he had a what kind of snare drum is it? I'm forgetting what they're called, but it was just like this long. You have no holes in it, and it's just the shell inside of this contraption. There's no contact to it, so the overtones are that much louder as well. And it was metal, so you get that like cranking sound out of it. And it always stood out to me like big time growing up. So
it was. I also grew up at the skate park too. Um, although I played sports all throughout, I I played hockey since I was 5, and kind of almost like drums. I don't remember at age 5 what made me say I want to play hockey. Other than being in Vermont, but that wasn't like something pushed on me because it just wasn't. But I think it was just something that, and my parents aren't, overly musical. They have good singing voices. I remembered that. I remembered one of the things is if my dad came upstairs from work singing loudly, it was a good day at work. And if he didn't, then it wasn't a bad day. But I just always knew if he came in singing something. And I remember being young, being like, wow, my dad has a really good singing voice. And so I sing in the band, obviously. And the songs that I've written on guitar, I sing. And then I do a lot of harmonies as well. So I think that came through my parents. But yeah, it was being at the skate park, and a lot of it originally with drums was boom down. It was still one of my favorite songs to this day is "The Decline" by NoFX.
nice.
And I have it on vinyl, which a friend of ours got for me as a gift, and brought it to me at a show. But I have 311 on vinyl. Rage Against the Machine was another huge influence. And honestly, weirdly enough, I'm the kind of drummer that people ask me about my influences, like naming drummers. And I'm not I'm not that I'm not that big into naming the names of drummers. I'm more a person that listens to the band, I guess. I mean, Chad
Well,
Sex. Chad
well, we
Sex.
got Chad
You're like,
Sexton there, but
I can't. There's
for
others.
Rage Against the Machine, you have Brad Wilkes,
Yes.
and then No Effects is Smelly. I forget Smelly's real name, but he was hugely inspiring at a young age. Just how
because
fast.
you don't. I would listen to the music and say how does he do that? Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom. How does he do that fast? That fast, but listening to a lot more 311 and trying to play their songs in my basement and whatnot. I guess I've realized now, getting older, that Chad played a lot off of Mahoney, because it's right. That's his the guitarist,
Yeah, lead guitar.
because he behind their melody, which you would think there'd be chords, he was playing lead parts on guitar, and then Chad was playing the same thing. Like
Well, Chad wrote a lot of that stuff.
and he did, but he was so. It's weird. You see like interviews of the band, and he's just
Yeah.
like nobody. And then actually, you're right. As I looked a little bit more into it, he did write a lot, but other than him, and I didn't know that at the time, pretty much him, and then once I heard Fish, it turned my whole drumming world around to realize that you could be actually part of the melody and part of an integral part of each song, other than just being a backbeat. With so many punk bands I listen to, you'd actually be like, like, you could actually, and that I still listen to that music when my girlfriend's not around, but but
You gotta play her some of the Decline or Thanks for All the Shoes.
Thanks for All the Shoes was the first one, man, and it just yeah, everybody needs some time away. Yeah. Just stuck in the K-hole again. I when I was so young, I was like, the K-hole? I was like, I have no idea what it's talking about. 18-hour holiday. Like, it just, but the cool part too with that, that I've realized as a musician as well, and now with Twiddle kind of being, owning a business, I guess, kind of ish,
Totally, 100%.
Is Fat Mike from NoFX. I mean, he has Fat Records, so he's not only the owner of a record company that produces bands' records, but he's a producer. So he's in there in the studio, and to me, that's very inspiring. Even knowing his past history with substance abuse and things like that, that's very prevalent in our scene. Things like that, and also 311 being like 30 years on. I mean, it's inspiring, and it's actually
Longevity. That's the name of the game,
and
Yeah.
you never think of it, honestly. It's but yeah.
So I guess, when did you start playing in bands, and then how did like Twiddle come together? I know you guys met at college, Castleton, but like, how did what's the story of how this, like, who contacted who? How did this all go down?
I started playing in bands when I was 15, 16 or so. And we would, I grew up in Rutland Town, Vermont. And in Rutland, in the city, we had some rec centers. There would be metal shows and punk shows. And I played in bands that would do those shows. I was in a band called Scattered Youth. And we did a cover of System of a Down, Chop Suey. So it was. Wake up! and it's. But then I was in a band called Dick Tracy. And we actually, at 16, I was in. We were playing in bars in Rutland, and we were doing covers of Moe, and we cover Bullet. We would do, and I was singing too. We would do The Boys Are Back in Town, and I'd be playing drums, singing Boys Are Back in Town, and I was 16, and we were like, we'd have to like sign waivers, which I'm surprised actually made us at that time, because nobody gave a fuck about anything. But it's back in the good old days. But yeah, so 16, and then and that was super fun. I mean, I guess I always knew that's what I wanted to do, and I met the guys at Castleton, but I through Castleton, but I wasn't there. I was actually a senior in high school at the time, and Mickey was playing in a pit band for the production of Hair at Castleton as a freshman, and I was a senior at Rutland, actually at the Technical Center, which was part of my high school that you could do and choose your VOTEC program, whether it was carpentry or culinary or music in my circumstance. And I met Billy through that, and they needed a bass player for the pit band, and they brought him up from Rutland because it was close to Castleton as a bass player for the pit band and Hair. Mickey and Ryan was not a part of it, but Mickey and Ryan had already been playing together. Met up with Billy. Mickey said, "This guy's the bass player. Now we need a drummer. Do you know a drummer? Because we can't find any Castleton that we like." So he hit me up, and I actually just told this story recently, but Ryan wasn't even there for the first time we got together. And we had another guitarist at the time, but I'll never forget. I walked into this frat house we called it's not even this apartment called the Bungalows, and I walked in, and there was beer pong being played and a haze of smoke along the way. Senior in high school, we played for an hour or something, and a dude walked in and was like, he's like, "You guys got an album?" And I'm pretty sure it was me that was like, "I just met these guys." This is
so what year is this?
And I was like, I think we got something going on. And yeah, then I moved into a house with them before I even graduated high school. About 3 or 4 months before I graduated high school.
So what year is this?
2005.
Okay.
Yep. And it wasn't like I had a bad home life or something, but I had money and I was 18, and I wanted to go play music with these dudes. So I said, "See you, bye, Mom and Dad, and I'll be back once in a while." I guess it wasn't that far away. It was only 30 minutes from my house. But yeah, we formed there, and then our first bass player left to go to Berkeley, and then Stenik joined when he was 17, like me, pretty much, and we brought him in under our wing the same way, and it's been that crazy ever since then, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I had known of you guys for a little while. I mean, looking back now and knowing you guys for as long as I have, I didn't realize at the time how like long you guys had been a band. And also, I think because you guys had that first record come out, but then there was like a long period of time until the next. That like I would hear it every once in a while, but it wasn't really until like 2012 or 13. It was like right around, I guess 13, because it was right around when I had joined Dopapod and checking you guys out and seeing it, and then obviously doing a bunch of shows together over the years. So, I mean, what is that feeling like in the fact that like I feel like you have like the 10 years and there's nice build up in those 10 years until like 2015, and I feel like it just kind of exploded.
Yeah, it's interesting to have people say like this up and coming band
Yeah.
is great. It's like, yeah, we've been at this for a while,
Yeah.
because they don't know, and most good press is most any press is good press, I guess. But yeah, the explosion of, I think a lot of it had to do. Somebody's taking off to go somewhere. I'm that close to the airport.
Yeah. Get out of that plane. What are you doing in a plane right now?
The craziest is that I live next to a like a military base somewhere, pretty much. It's and they fly out jets that wow. The newest ones that they just started flying out. They normally do it at 9 a.m. So no sleeping in for this guy. It's they're very loud, but yeah, the progression of the band, and I think it was just a lot of hard work. And I think a lot of it has to do with our success. I think it has to do with the fact that the message has always been on point. None of us in the band are perfect people. And there's anybody can have a say about anybody else, and you know, um, you take the love and try to forget about the hate, I guess. Are you gonna come in here, Walt? You gonna come? Um, I think part of that is that we've what's up, bud? That we've had such respect for our music and our fans and our crew, and just all the time. I mean, we're the kind of people that at the end of every show, it's you, like,
Yeah.
you to like everybody that's a part of what's going on. And we've built in house. We've always pretty much built in house as far as building up our crew, um, and we've stayed a family. It's hard to do. It's not. It's really not easy. And it's not only the fact of ridiculous you know bio bio biopics about bands that like, do you want to be in my band? Oh, now we're yeah, like that's not how it happens. It's just not. It's not. It's a family, and there's a lot of ups and downs. And I think the biggest thing that has kept us going, and yeah, thirsty for more, and continuing uh, to continue on this journey is the people that we've surrounded ourselves with, and the fan base. That's a big part, and the music. And it's cool that all of us can get back together. About 2 weeks ago, or I guess it was actually before this whole Roots tour that we were doing. We got together at our sound guy's house, and in 5 hours wrote 4.5 brand new songs. 4.5 brand new songs in about 5 hours. One of which was mine, one of which was Stenic's, two of which were Mickey's, and the other half we have almost finished. That's Ryan. And just all of us just came together, and it was like that, you know. My song, I was like, you know, this is how I kind of want to feel. I played on guitar really quick. Okay, everybody just falls into place. Mickey starts the song. This is kind of the feel, and I'm like, okay, like start playing
Well,
a
yeah,
beat.
I mean, you're 15 years deep in now. Like you've got a rhythm to it that like it all starts to come together when you're all just in a room, and especially after however many months, you know, of not being together, not doing the normal routine, and you know, all of that. And I mean, even going back to saying of understanding like how it all happened, even though there'll be that up and coming band aspect that has been around for a while. Is the thing that I've noticed most is that connection that you guys have between the band, your crew, and the audience, and how it really does feel connected, and they have a strong connection to the lyrics and what you guys do, and that vibe, you know. So kudos to you guys having, you know, a strong sense of what it means to be in the music business, and even from scene to scene, but just in general, like that aspect of community, and how if you want longevity, which is, you know, what it's all about, that you need that element. Otherwise, you know, bands come and go. But if you build a strong surrounding around all of that, you know, you can have a solid career doing this thing. And it doesn't have to be, even with the concept of the biopics, you know, as you're saying, it doesn't even have to be like we're out on the road and flying all over and making millions of dollars. Like, if you can make a career and be comfortable doing it, like, that's what it's all about. And you guys are doing that.
And that is, yeah, and that is really what it is too. And you know, after 15.
Oh, you froze on me. Hopefully it'll come back. I don't know if anyone watching this is getting the wheel, but all right, there we go.
Back now?
Yeah.
Just on the Roots tour that we just did. So we just went back through our whole. We just played all the venues. That started us from the beginning. We just did a whole. I mean, it was Manchester, Pickle Barrel, and Killington. Both venues at Higher Ground. I mean, it was literally. We went to Timber Ridge, where Friendly Gathering was. We went everywhere, going back to the places that we started. And I think more or less too, it's our understanding as well that some bands think too that you have to be together 24/7. You know, that when you're a band, we are a family. But one of the things that we've talked about is the fact that we do respect our time apart. And that's a very valuable thing for all of us. It's not that there's animosity or this and that, but obviously in any relationship, you know, things can get heated or this and that, whatever. But really one of the things that we've realized is the music benefits from us being able to go back home, be with our family, be with our friends, and this and that, and kind of regroup and then come back. And then just benefit from that, just literally songwriting wise, or just honestly too, one of the things we've had a rule for a long time is that going out on tour, we've always tried not to do more than a month on the road, because we understand that it takes a toll after a while, and it's not something we don't want going out to, playing shows be the thing that tears us apart, because that is the that's the that's the best part of it. And actually, I would only I actually want to ask you this question: is how do you feel when you come off the road after a tour? Because I've been asked that question a lot. Is what do you feel like when you come off the road?
I personally, by the time I'm off the road, I'm excited to be off the road. Like you said, I think after years and years of doing this, you realize that, the same concept of longevity, and you need to do what's sustainable, and being out for really long periods of time, especially if, like Mickey's got a family, or just people in general missing their family and friends and needing a little break, and just the Groundhog's Day that is of waking up at whatever time it might be, and either sitting in a van or driving, and then loading in and sound check, and then the show, and you have dinner, a small section between sound check and show, and then packing up, and then trying to get enough sleep. It just becomes like a lot. So I'm in a similar groove as you. I would say a month tops, but like really after 3 weeks, I need to be home. And then, after about 2 or 3 weeks, like I'm good to go out and complete that cycle again. Like 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off.
That's the other.
It's still a lot of shows, and I wouldn't do that, but I could be sustainable in something like that. After about 3 weeks, I'm exhausted, and after about 3 weeks home, I'm excited to play music again. It's not that I want to get away from home. I just want to be able to play music and do the thing. But after 3 weeks, I need to get home.
Absolutely. It's the same for me. And I think for all of us, again, we have our favorite cities and, places we love to go and all that. And once we got on the tour bus, that makes it easier, but at the same time, it doesn't at the same time, because now we have such
always together. Together.
Bunks is pretty much filled with 10 people at least now. So there's not the junk bunks. The junk bunk numbers just kept going down. Yeah. We have 3 junk bunks, 2, 1.
Now someone's got to sleep on the top bunk and potentially fall.
I can't sleep. I was banned. I was banned from the top bunk years ago. when we had the bandwagon. I fell out of the top bunk 3 times. We were trying. I fell 3 different times. 3 different times while I was sleeping. And thankfully, I didn't hurt myself any of the times. But I'm also the shortest guy in the crew, in the entire crew, regardless of the band. I mean, me and Mickey could maybe go back to back and see who meets there, but so it's so much fun too, though. We've had people come on the road with us, new people, our friend Pete Spadaro, who's done for us,
shout out to Pete.
And he's so really good friends with us. We just saw him. I believe it was him one of the first times he came out with us, and he was like, "Who are you guys?" He's like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You guys like each other?" He's like, "You guys actually like each other?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You guys actually go out to dinner, and on your days off, you like go do stuff." I'm like, what? Yeah, we do. And I've talked to other people too that said there's bands that don't talk to their bus driver. We're not those kind of people. It's we love our bus drivers. They literally keep us safe the entire time. It's we love our crew, like in and out, and that's I think that's part of it too. It's just having fun because you got it, man. If you don't, I worked for an audio company for years in Rutland before Atomic Audio, Pro Audio in Rutland, years. You know, and going out on gigs, the couple of times I did, I saw so many, road warrior soundmen and other people that were so jaded, and not just from Atomic. I'm not saying from Atomic. I'm just saying on the road from other bands that I had to deal with and that stuff. And I always said to myself, I would never want people in my crew being those kind of people. And it's, I think that's one of the biggest parts, because a lot of people think it's just it's Sundays with whipped cream on top all the time, and parties and drugs and chicks or something. I don't know what the hell they think, but you know as well as I do, it ain't no
that.
And that's not the way it is. And we're not
It can
like
be for some, unfortunately.
not like that at all.
Yeah.
We do like to have fun when we can, but it's about the music and it's about the fans, because where would we be without the fans, And where would we be without the crew? We wouldn't be there without either of them.
Totally. 100%. How did all of that? So everyone is in the Vermont area in your crew, besides Pete.
Well, we actually have Herm doing, his name's Alex actually, but doing Lakes for us. He's out in Illinois, Ohio. We have Ben Travers, who's my drum tech, who's in Pennsylvania. Majority of the time, he's got a place there, and Kyle Travis, who's Danny Travis, our tour manager's younger brother, who's our kind of guitar, bass tech, and other things. He's in Connecticut, but the four of us in the band we're in Vermont.
Gotcha. I just was trying to figure out how, did you guys have protocols or anything in line that you were worried about when the idea of doing the Roots tour came up, and just trying to keep, Jamflo saying Indy. Yeah, Herm's from Indy, because he used to work at, what's that small club that everyone plays in Indianapolis?
Kevin will know. Come on,
Yeah.
Kevin. Give it. Anyway, with this whole Roots thing, it's
It's a brilliant idea. Absolutely brilliant idea, by the way. The idea of what people should be doing, playing in just more venues, empty venues, and getting out fresh content as much as possible is just the safest way to go about how do you give people music and keep things kind of afloat. It's obviously different, but in a safe way. And that by far is the smartest way that I've seen so far. And that I said from the beginning.
Hey, babe. Shit, hold on. I gotta turn this light on again. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, Mousetrap. That's the venue. Mousetrap in Indianapolis. What an interesting place. If anyone ever goes to Indianapolis and wants to see some music, go to the Mousetrap. Enjoy yourself. I think if you eat, I think they have a chili or something that they're known for. There you go. I'm filling time telling people about the Mousetrap.
But yeah, so with the Roots thing, yes, you're right. It was it was the coolest part about that too, actually, though, is the fact of the venues that let us come back into those venues. And a lot of them, just without hesitation. And, there's no benefit really for them other than, maybe we say their name and we played another show there or something, but it was them. I feel like that was a lot of full circle of, again, the respect that we've given, it to a lot of these venues that have helped us grow and become who we are, so it was super nice to, and I was actually surprised, a little bit surprised, but have them just let us come back in, and just do our thing. And I think they missed it as much as we did the old days. uh, I do miss that a lot of the time sometimes, where things weren't as complicated and everything else. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but there are times, and I've been called the white buffalo and other things like that because I'm not the most necessarily outgoing and available band member to our fans after like VIP events, things like that. But yeah, I think a lot of that just has to do with my personality in general. And then Ryan just makes up for my shortcomings with as far as the band the fan
personality. There's charisma.
Yeah, but it's I also feel like, again, the connection between us and the fans has really been the cohesive the bond that has carried the band this far, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, what is someone saying here?
The freaking paragraph.
Oh, it's actually my old guitar player from my first band back in the 2005 to 2009 era.
Okay.
But he's talking about the Dan Patrick show. Yeah. So how did that? Let's talk about that for a minute here. So what was it? What was it?
Shit! Now I'm getting attacked by mosquitoes out here. Crap. Hold on.
That time here.
Inside. Hold on. We'll go.
You need to install some of those bat. Housing units. Get some bats eating those things there in the night.
Hold on. Oh, my girlfriend is vacuuming apparently. I gotta come inside. Sorry. Hold on a second. All right. The Dan Patrick thing. So that came.
Callie, you're right. See, your personality's awesome, dude. Don't worry about Ryan's craziness.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I guess get these out of the way. How do I get the? The Dan Patrick thing came about through our first record label, I guess. The man that was running it was a personal friend of Dan's, and then his name's Claude, and we went through that and got on the Dan Patrick show, and then he really liked us, and we played his show a second time. He came to a show of ours in, I think, Massachusetts, Connecticut, or wherever it was. And, I mean, Dan was the man, literally. He's such a cool guy, and it's you meet people like that. We've met a handful of famous people and whatnot, this and that, but they're all just regular people. I mean, it's Dan is just a super genuinely nice dude, and going on his show was super fun, and he knew that we could do stuff on the fly, and the Meets Friday or whatever that he would do, and immediately he threw at us like, do this cover and throw like words about it and stuff, about barbecuing, and we just went from there. And he came to our show. He came backstage, and I won't tell you the fun times that we had with him. But he was a nice guy. It just went through that. And again, I think that really attributes it rings true to how amazing our crew and the band is. The guys are. because even if it was, we had to show up there at like freaking 6:30 in the morning. It was hell. It was literally, we walked in the last time that the second time we played there, we all walked in just like like okay, where do we set up? Let's just do this, But then you get into it, and we got to meet Hank Azaria the first time we were there, which is like, what the hell?
Incredible.
Yeah, it's you take it all in stride, but it's and again, I guess with me myself, I gained a couple nicknames: White Buffalo, but also Fire Ant.
I like White Buffalo. I'm gonna start calling you White Buffalo.
Much better, right?
Yeah.
But again, the Fire Ant is the part in me where I'm like, what is going on? Like, can somebody tell me, like, what are we doing right now? Like, can I go take a nap for an hour, or are we doing this? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, but if somebody will tell me, I will be there. And that's the yeah, so we've had some really good times and met some amazing people. It's
well, you'll have more and more amazing times to come. Hopefully in a year. Hopefully sooner, but at least a year.
We've got the Essex. We've got a drive-in at Essex coming up, but it's other than that. The Roots tour has been crazy, and that was so much fun. Again, like I said, just revisiting all those old spots, and actually a lot of them. The cool part is now is I have that practice pro kit. That's like the super small one. Of all those like small venues, we just did those instead. Instead.
Why not?
It sounds amazing. It was so it's it's been fun and at times easier than it was definitely back then. That's for sure. But
well, I mean, does Mickey still have his guitar rig? Because I'm sure that. Or is he simplifying for these shows as well?
Sometimes, him and Stenik have a fly rig. It's always so funny when we fly. Oh my god. It's me, I'm like, I've got 2 pairs of drumsticks. Yeah. I stopped taking cymbals. I used to want my cymbals in my snare, and then oh my god. Once I walked through the airport 2 times with my cymbal case, I was like, no. And I was like, nope.
Yeah, it can be a lot. I don't travel with anything except for my kick pedal.
Yeah, that is
the only thing. I can tune heads, cymbals will feel kind of the same, but if I get a bad kick pedal for backline, I have a terrible time.
So what is it for you? Is it the fact with the with like the bounce back, or like the
it's just getting like all the springs in set and like just the feel of it. It takes time to get adjusted for most people, but especially for me, like I need an adjustment period with a pedal, and we typically don't have enough time or a sound check even for fly dates. So it's like I'd rather just have my kick pedal and know that my feet are going to be comfortable, because my hands, I can play on a lot of different surfaces from just practicing on a lot of different surfaces. But my feet, I want it to be a little bit more of a normal feeling that I can count on.
So, yeah. Do you double or single?
I fly with a double. I do play double, but I barely use it. I usually just use the single, and if there's something where I need like steady, or I want steady double bass drum, then I'll do that. But I never do like back-to-back 16ths or like it's usually single pedal, but I play a double.
Yeah. Damn. So do you use a hard case to carry, or like a
do you control? I have a hard case. My pedal came with a hard case, but it's plastic. It's actually, I need to get I'm going to get a Pelican that will have all of my, will fit my kick pedal, my stick bag, and then like my shaker and like little things that I like to bring with me when I fly, or that are just part of my rig. I need to have like more of a fly situation rather than just putting my stick bag and all that stuff in my my luggage and then having the pedal as a separate thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does TSA treat you with that? That's
I mean, they're not bad, and with that, like, you can't really. It's called hardware for a reason. Like, it would be pretty tough for them to break that. But I fly with a. Yeah, I have an audio interface that I travel with because I was doing this podcast thing, and the first flight I check it in this thing, and I open it up, and they like dented one of my microphones because it got loose, and it scratched up my universal audio interface. Like, I'm like, first flight, and I already learned that I can't check it anymore, even if it's in an indestructible case.
I got my the same stuff right there. But this is my little room with keyboards.
Oh, nice.
And whatnot. But anyway, yeah, it's we do the same thing, and when we're on the plane, we watch out the window for, like, you know, the other guy's stuff, the pedal boards. We're like, oh, there they are. Huh, like, ah.
Yeah, it's like I literally buy this case.
That one was pretty good. They did pretty nice that time. That time was good. But then other times, like, oh my, they whoosh, just.
Yeah. I normally don't have to worry about it, but I literally bought this case, and immediately, the first time I fly with it, they break the stuff inside of it. Or they didn't break it, but they scratch it up.
You know what Stenik does? He just has a soft case and brings it on the plane, and then asks to put it in, like, the
closet. Yeah.
The closet.
Yeah, 100%.
He's so cute and nice about it that they normally let him do it.
They have to. It's like, nowadays they like actually understand they've broken enough instruments that are thousands of dollars to know that.
I've heard the horror stories. I even heard Tom Hamilton, right? Didn't a Jam Cruise or something, right? Or whatever it was?
There was one time, yeah, he opened up the case and like the neck was snapped.
It snapped. Dude, what do you, oh my, jeez. Jeez. But, yeah, you said an hour. I mean.
Yeah, it's gonna end any second now because we started a little bit after, so. It's actually probably better that we ended a minute. Yep, 2 minutes now, so you're right on it. But thank you, buddy. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this and for us to get to catch up. And I'm jealous. I know Callie is too, that you're in Vermont and that you get to be in such a beautiful state all the time. One day soon.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been doing painting too in my time off. I'll show you before the 2 minutes.
Yeah, you got a minute. You got a minute and 30. So
here's. Let's see if we can.
There you go.
Here's one of the newies, and then I can't do it while I'm from the side. And then the newest one that I've been working on is this guy over here. That is.
There you go. You and Yoda.
Is that one's not even close to being ready, but
there you go, buddy.
Yeah, so I've been doing painting and just in the off time.
Let me know as
you got to keep it busy. So
yeah, for sure. Well, thank you again, buddy, and I will talk to you soon. Stay safe out there.
Thanks for having me, dude.
No problem. Peace.
Peace.
For everyone else on here, thank you for tuning in. Next week, I will have Chris Myers, Humphreys McGee. All you need is love. It's true. Love is all you need. Peace.